So I'd like to present you with your Stevie Award for Lifetime Achievement. How does it feel?
Lifetime? I'm still only halfway through my life. I know lifetime's not there. But anyway, it's a fantastic award. It's a beautiful looking award, and obviously very flattered and very honoured that you could come here to give it to me. And I'm only sorry I'm not in Dublin with all the other award winners who've done magnificently. Well done.
You're very much associated, of course, with the building and maintaining of a brand. What are your tips for doing that?
Yes, I mean, Virgin's an unusual brand. I mean, most brands specialise in one area, so Microsoft in computers, or Coca-Cola in soft drinks, or Nike in shoes. Virgin is more a way of life brand, and we like to look after people's needs throughout their lives. So whether it's their health, or their train travel, or their airline travel, or their music, and so on. And it's very important if you are a way of life brand that you don't have, say, one company letting the other companies down. So we strive to be the best in every sector that we take on. We're generally speaking the underdog, which is actually a lot more fun than being the Goliath being attacked by the David. We have a lot of fun in what we do. I mean, we love to make a difference, and we love to tear down barriers and we have a great bunch of people who believe in what we're doing, which is really important. I think if you give your staff the right tools, and if they feel, yes, I'm working for the best airline in the world, they'll come out smiling, and and the people your passengers will smile as well.
You once said to me, I remember, that if you're an entrepreneur, you can make almost any business work. Do you still believe that to be the case?
Yes, I mean, what is a business? A business is its people. So, I mean, I can't change a sparking plug on a 747, but as I think I'm good at finding the right people, the best people, and giving them the freedom, to do a good job. And actually the freedom to make mistakes, not in the engineering department, but in other departments. And so, I think if you realise that all the business is its people, you can then run any business. When we went from being a record business into starting an airline, people thought we were mad. In fact, Lord King quite wittily said, too old to rock and roll, too young to fly. There's no chance this airline will be successful. But what he didn't realise was actually somebody from the entertainment business, running an airline, it might not be such a bad thing, because not only can we find the right people to make sure it runs safely, but we can also find people to entertain our passengers, and they can actually have a pleasant journey. And so people's what it's all about.
Now, many of the award winners, of course, will be feeling the downturn, the economic downturn that we're feeling at the moment. How is it having an impact on you?
It's actually more bloody than it was after September the 11th, and that's saying something. And I'm really, I suppose, putting my airline hat on in particular here. Our costs we've got 5 airlines around the world. Our annual costs in the last 12 months have gone up by £1.5 billion. So, when you're working out, your forecast for the next year, when you suddenly got £1.5 billion of increased costs, and that's just fuel, that's terrifying. And so the question is, we can't absorb all that ourselves. Can the public take those increases? Some we've managed to hedge. We've been quite fortunate about that. But some we're going to have to pass on. And then, of course, the public are not just suffering higher airline costs, they're suffering, higher car costs, higher, fuel costs in their cars, higher food costs, higher everything costs, the housing prices collapsing. So it's not a pretty picture. We're all going to have to work extremely hard over the next 2 years. But I think the important thing with recessions is, is at the depth of a recession, generally speaking, recessions bottom out and come back again, and it's a matter of hanging on in there for the good times ahead. And in normal circumstances, what happens is a number of rival businesses go bust. which sort of clears some space for the businesses that are left. The airline business is a strange one in that, you know, the American government keeps on jumping in and propping up these ghastly, you know, big airlines that, you know, that offer the consumer next to nothing. I just hope they don't do it again. But anyway, so I think, you know, rough time for everybody ahead. Hard work. They've got they should be getting out of the party, getting back to work. But anyway, tomorrow morning, and the good companies will somehow get through it and be ready for the good times ahead.
So the tip is just make sure that you're one of the good companies. That's all.
Yeah, and you've got to survive. You've got to, I'm afraid, have hopefully you've taken the bank manager out, if he hasn't gone bust himself recently, to make sure that he'll help you through the bad times, or maybe he'll be asking a loan for you.
Richard Branson, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Cheers.